Hey guys, this is Mekkah, and I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is I recorded my Chapter 3 run with Arisa, and the commentary was pretty good. It was pretty exciting. The bad news is OBS messed up the video. Would it be a Mekkah production if something technical didn't go wrong? So the video is, it's good at first, and then as you go along it freezes more and more often until at some point it just freezes and turns into Ira's stat screen, because OBS apparently thought that was the only thing I ever wanted to record. So it's good for background, like if you don't really want to watch the gameplay, you just want to hear me and Arisa ramble, then it works pretty well. But it's not a very good LP video, so I've been struggling to make something out of it, but the file isn't just hard to watch, it's also really hard to edit. I can't really change much about it without my editor crashing. And I didn't really want to spend my time making a very shitty video slightly less shitty. So what I did is this, I uploaded the authentic Mekkah experience version, which is basically just the awful video with the good live commentary. So I've got the link for that. And this video is going to be me doing solo commentary of a rerun that I did. So you have an idea of what the gameplay looks like, and hopefully that should satisfy everyone. Next time I hope to have just one good video with both of us commentating again. So yeah, enjoy watching, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, that kind of stuff. Enjoy. Okay, so we're in Chapter 3, and we've got all our units here. I'm not showing them off in this one, but at some point I'll probably upload a video where I do at least show off the units, because that part was recorded properly. Ardeen has a conversation with Beowulf or Finn, because they replaced Lex and Holin, and they talk to Ara for the hero sword, but in this version it's the recover staff, which is infinitely more underwhelming, but I do want it, so because I want everything, I'm greedy. Taillte still has the physics staff that Chagall dropped last chapter, and I was too lazy to trade it off for. It's actually pretty good, because Taillte is not a mounted unit, but I do want her to get some EXP, so I can just have her spam physic whenever, because there's always someone who gets damaged. Now this chapter is probably my favorite map in FE4 overall, maybe with the exception of the prologue, because for one it is pretty short, but for two there's always something going on, there's always enemies coming at you, there's no giant backtrack. You do have to go back and forth between castles, but you have like the warp and the return staffs available, so you can do it pretty quickly. And there are some pretty neat tricks you can do. So there are a couple armies coming at your castle, but the armored enemies on the right and the cavaliers on the left, they don't really get to you fast enough, so if you're trying to hurry up and seize quickly, then they don't really matter, so I just ignore them. The army up top is a little more threatening. It's not a bunch of armors and a general. There's also a couple of bow knights that accompany them, but their AI is weird. They don't always move even if you're in range. I haven't really experimented with them too much, so I'm not sure what exactly triggers them to move. But if they don't move, I welcome that. I can just march onwards, but I do engage them. As you can see, I promoted Lycasis through return abuse, because I only have her for this chapter, so it's not as broken as if I would do it in vanilla, and I just wanted to show her off before she left. I also promoted Beowulf, because he had enough money to buy the Paragon Ring and get a bunch of levels. Finn is also promoted since last chapter, of course, but I showed that off in the video. Beowulf still has the hero sword, so he's one of my best offensive units. Finn is also pretty good, he can one round a lot of armor knights with the silver lance. But my main goal is actually to feed EXP to Quan whenever I can. I had Quan end up with the Paragon Ring and gave him a bunch of money with Dew. And I also gave him the Brave Lance, so it's pretty easy to feed kills to him since he is mounted. And I can dance with Sylvia, I need to do it twice a turn. That is the kind of thing I am trying to set up here. So I figured out how much damage is Quan doing, how can I safely weaken them. So I try to use Taillte to do that, but she decides to adapt and I don't get a big shield proc, so she one rounds. So I have to set up a different kill. It's not too hard to feed Quan kills, because his stats are already pretty good. His growths are really amazing. But it does take some setting up. He cannot one round things on his own, except maybe some very weak mounted units, because they don't have too much defense, and the hero lance hits pretty hard. Fury is going through the middle. If you take longer in this chapter, she could actually kill all the magic units, but as it is, there's not really that much time. So I think she only ends up killing like one. She has the barrier sword, so it's very hard to get her killed there. I get the jump on the bow knights because I left a bunch of my people in range, and I think if they all ganged up on one of them, they would have a high chance of death, so I thought I'd just get initiative and kill one of them with Beowulf. And I used Sylvia to get some people to catch up. Lewin is once again really important. He's no longer the only unit that has like good 1-2 range, because I think Taillte at this point probably counts as good 1-2 range, and Lacus is like the light sword. But he's still the best by far. And a lot of enemies don't even want to attack him, probably for that reason. They seem to really like targeting Quan. I feel like he has a similar kind of target on his back that Midir and sometimes Holden have for the FE4 AI, where they just prefer some units over others when they're deciding who to attack, even though there is no good reason for them to. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of pirates burning down these villages, but I don't really care about the gold too much, because there's a bunch of them from the arena, which is like in vanilla. I do get to them eventually, but they are not top priority or anything. It's just kind of annoying that they waste time with the burning animation. Speaking of burning animation, that mage is the only one that really does significant damage to Fury. The others, they have, I think, exactly as much attack as she has resistance, so they do 1 damage and they don't even want to attack her. So here's take 2 of me trying to feed kills to Quan. This time I'm actually hoping to feed the promoted enemy to him. Most of my army is really powerful. Like powerful enough to 1 round if they want to, so I have to like use weaker weapons. Lex has a significant improvement over last map in that I actually found a hero axe in the shop this chapter. Normally you get that from the chapter 1 event, but if you watch that video you'll know that Beowulf didn't get anything, and Lex obviously wasn't available because he replaced Beowulf. Finn has a slim lance. I didn't do this in the live commentary version, but I found it annoying that Finn wouldn't double some enemies with the silver lance or the hero lance. And obviously I gave the hero lance to Quan. But with the slim lance he doubles a lot more. The slim lance is actually a really good weapon. I think it's as powerful as the armor lance, but just twice as light. So it's actually the best like regular lance, I guess. Quan does get the promoted kill. I forgot what level he ends up at, but in the live version he ends up being promoted at the end of the map. So this castle, it's kind of well defended. If you position yourself well, you can punch through the armors in 1 turn, kill the boss, and seize, but I have to lure them out. They're pretty bulky, hard to kill. I use my usual method of exposing Lewin and hoping things work out. Lewin, he doesn't double reliably, but he gets lots of crits and adapts. I think at this point he actually has 30 speed, so that's almost a 50% chance of proccing adapt alone. And he 2 kills almost every enemy. Beowulf is also still really good, because the hero's sword fixes any offensive issues that he might have. I actually exposed Lacus's with the silver bow equipped, but it didn't matter because the mage suicided on her. And there was only 1 spot for the enemies to attack her to begin with. As you can see, the mages don't really want to attack Fury, so they go for Beowulf instead. So next turn I can either very elaborately plan to punch through all the enemies that are standing in my way and try to kill the boss and seize on the same turn. And I think I tried to do that in the live version, but here I was like feeling a bit more relaxed. Like, I can just kill the enemies and then seize next turn, or try at least. So I'm checking all their HP, because I saw that the bishop didn't use Fortify, which he usually does if like any enemy is injured at all. And he didn't, so what ended up happening was I 1-rounded every enemy that actually attacked me and got countered, and most of them didn't even get attacked or get countered. So that's why the bishop just kind of stands there. It's like, hey guys, kill me please. So that just gives me more opportunities to feed kills to whoever I want. These characters don't really need training anymore other than Quan. I guess Midir could use some EXP. but I think he's on track to promote in Chapter 4, and don't really need him promoted any earlier. And Meteor's good, just like in Vanilla, but it's not exactly because his stats are so great, it's more like he's nice chip damage, but he's not an enemy phase Juggernaut or anything. So I don't need him to be at certain benchmarks, I just need him to deliver a little extra damage whenever I need it. He's nice to weaken characters for others, as long as he's not proccing Adept, or he doesn't have Adept, he has Charge, or if he's critting with a Clairbow, that can be annoying if I'm trying to set up a kill for someone else. But if I just want to get as many kills as possible during a player phase, then obviously those procs are welcome. So I do get these enemies pretty easily out of the way. And I go for a kill with Lewin, and he actually gets the Adept on the first try. So that means I would be able to seize this turn, but apparently I forgot to give the return staff to Ethlin. I even set it up to where I could buy it, but then I forgot to buy it, so you have to use the warp staff. And then I also realized, oh, I don't actually have enough move to seize with Taillte this turn. So I just have her attack the mage, and she ends up fucking Adept again. She's very generous with these in this chapter. I figure I might as well have Meteor go after the villages on the right, because he doesn't have that much to do in the rest of the map. There are some places where it could have been useful, but I just want to get rid of the time-wasting pirates. Lance Knights and the Duke Knight are getting very close to the castle, to the point where if I took any longer, I would put Arden to defend it, and he could probably survive for one turn. But as it is, like, I'm literally 3 squares from seizing, and there's no reason to hold this up. So I'm not just doing this to be like a cool-looking LPC guy that wants to finish the map as soon as possible. I have an actual reason for this, and it will become apparent later. If you want to guess, I'll give you a hint. It has to do with pairings. So I want to seize some castles quickly because of pairings. So seizing here, it gets rid of the ballistas, and it also gets a nice conversation with Alec, who is replacing Claude, and a guy behind him. He's a surprise, but if you look at the characters I have and the ones I have not gotten yet, then you'll know who it is. So Duke comes out and leaves Shannon to take care of Celis, and of course Dio is Tailtte's wife, and she gets kidnapped here. I wonder when Manfroy is going to find out that he got the wrong person, because I'm pretty sure that Dio does not have any Lobster blood. So now I'm like, yeah, I can buy the return staff. Wait, why do I not have enough money? I think I somehow arranged it to where she does have enough money in my in the live run. I may have forgotten to arena with her or something. I don't think I did. But I end up selling, I think it was the Miracle Sword, that she doesn't really need to do any kind of combat, and if she does have the Thief Sword, I guess. I really hope I don't have to. And now I can start returning people home, because once you seize this castle, you need to work from the home castle again, and it's much quicker to warp and return people home than it is to walk all the way. I think horse units can get home in like 2 or 3 turns, but again, I do want to be as fast as possible. I also have to return Ring on Ethlin, which I did make sure to purchase, thankfully. I gave priority to Lewin to get home because once again he's the best one to range, and the Cross Knights that are coming at me are all Cavaliers with, I believe it's either Iron or Steel Swords and Javelins. So they will attack at 1 range against someone like, I don't know, a bow user with pretty accurate swords. But generally they will try to not get countered with javelins, and Lewin kind of covers both options. He's dodgy enough and durable enough to take them on whatever weapon they use, and he will always counter. He probably won't one-round all of them if he's in range, but he'll weaken them to the point where my other characters can take care of them, because there's no fortified bishop or anything that will heal them back up if Lewin doesn't one-round. I actually tried diverting them with Fury here. This is a strategy that I think works in vanilla, but I don't know exactly where she needs to be to pull it off. I think that enemies generally try to go towards whoever is closest in terms of how many turns it takes to get to them. So I thought if I put Fury in range for like 2 turns of them and everyone else is further away, then they would go for her. But perhaps they have some kind of priority where they will try to go for your castle or whatever. And perhaps Lewin is also like 2 turns away for them. I think he is. So gotta return the last few people. Make sure I also return Sylvia and then return Ethelyn the same turn. For some reason you can't use the return ring after attacking, which is kind of broken in some situations. You just teleport right out of there after your turn has already been ended. Taillte getting some more XP with the physics staff is very nice. It's at this point that I'm exiting some people that haven't seen much use in this chapter, which is Deirdre, Holland, and I think there might be one. Actually, I think I already walked Holland up there this time. Either way, I'm exiting Deirdre because I want to warp her north, since Deirdre replaces Dew. And for one, that means she has to get the Wind Sword at the Blagi Tower in the later part of the map. But also Horace, the guy who made this patch, told me that you should promote Deirdre, you won't regret it. And, well, like, I know Horace is a good FE player, and if he makes some kind of good promotion for Deirdre or whatever, then I'm all more willing to train her up. But she replaced Dew, so it's kind of tough to do that. I have to make some really interesting plans for that, but we'll get to that later. Meteor continues working on these pirates. I had Lex attack one of the pirates because I was like, hey dude, I don't want you destroying my castle because then I cannot return or warp people there. Well, I cannot warp people there. Ethelyn sells the pursuit ring because I want to have Deirdre buy it since she does not have pursuit. I need her to double the pirates that she's going to attack. So here Lacus warps her north. The Cross Knights are going to be pretty annoying. They're in a pretty annoying position where I can't really expose Lewin to too many of them while also keeping him out of the range of Elegant. So Elegant has the Missile Team, which I believe is also buffed because it's supposed to replace Naga or something, I think. Naga being the super holy anti-lock tier tome. Just in case my pronunciation of that is confusing. I also warp Ira north because she replaces Ideen. And she needs to talk to whoever replaces Bridget for whatever replaces the Ufel, you know, the Holy Bow. So here come the Cross Knights, and my formation is absolutely awful. And like Lewin isn't even in range of like half of these guys, and then the ones that are in his range, they can also attack Quan. And as I said, they love attacking Quan so much. I mean, I can't blame them. I would also attack Quan if I had the option instead of Lewin, because he doesn't counter, and he's easier to hit. So Quan almost dies here, and Lewin ends up countering like 1 or 2 dudes. It's not that great. But at least I stayed out of range of Alec, and that was pretty good. Taillte begs Elson to put down his sword, but we all know that he's not going to do that, because he's a stupid Camus character. And I need Ethelyn, not Lacus, but the actual Ethelyn, to talk to Elegant. And so I begin wiping out these Cross Knights. Jemka actually does pretty well against them. I brought him out just for that extra bit of attack and maybe baiting away some enemies by not countering at one range. I figured I need all the firepower I can get. But most of the others in my home castle are too frail or too weak to do it. Sorry, Arden. Lacus is of course one rounds pretty reliably with the Silver Bow. This is one of my favorite weapons to put on Master Knights because they can just switch to something else after using the Silver Bow. And nobody else really wants to use that. I talked to Elegant with Ethelyn pretty quickly to remove the 5 leadership stars, make it easier to dodge and hit these guys. This Elegant has 5 leadership stars, it's absolutely insane. But protecting her from this position is going to be impossible. I just give up on it right away. All I'm trying to do is get as many attacks in as possible with my other guys, and then hopefully get them into a range where Sylvia can dance without getting exposed too much. I think Finn doesn't even one-round these guys with the Slim Lance, which is very annoying. He also cannot double with the Silver Lance, so there's just no way for him to get rid of a one enemy, and that really hurts my offense. Quan is also exactly 1 HP short of one rounding, if I remember correctly. So yeah, this is tricky. I just, I mean, this was my first try doing this. I was like, if this doesn't work, then I'll think it over more properly. But if it works, whatever, I will live with having a Mank level strategy and getting rid of these cross knights. Because I've seen the FE4 AI before, and when you get rid of their leader, their AI gets really random. Like they will just scatter their attacks all over the place, and I'm hoping something like that will bail me out, if not a couple of dodges. Like, I know it's like I'm making Pitfalls look like a really bad series by employing that kind of strategy, but whatever. At this point, I keep in mind, I already played this chapter while doing live commentary, and I was kind of bummed that it didn't work out, so this is not me playing at full motivation or anything. But I do enjoy doing a bit of commentary, so it's fine. We'll work something out. The live commentary, I'm really annoyed that it didn't work out the way I wanted to. It's probably my computer's fault, but I'm blaming OBS just because I can. Alright, so Chagall figured that Eldigan is not up to the challenge, so I guess he sent in a couple of Dragon Knights from the north. Yet another group of enemies from Chagall that will never reach my castle because they start so far away. Meanwhile, these enemies, they do as I expected. They kind of spread out their damage. They do still like going for Quan, but he dodged one, and I think he only had to dodge one to survive overall. Yeah, he ends up with... he dodged two, but... The point is, Quan had pretty good odds to survive, I think, because he needed to get hit by all but one of them to die. And I think he had Charisma and Taillte in range, which I tries to avoid. So it's all good. Fury gets rid of another guy and decides to fight at that castle. I'm sort of hoping that the Dragon Knights will go south towards, I think it's called Silvel Castle, instead of north towards Madino Castle. Because the army down south is much better equipped to deal with large swarms of enemies. I mean, I do have like Medir available who's good against Dragon Knights in the north, but it's not ideal because you cannot face them in enemy phase, he's kind of frail. The rest isn't that great either. So I'm hoping to either seize quickly enough to where they're not an issue at all, or to face them with the South Army. I give Jamk another chance against this Cross Knight, because he seemed pretty good last time, but he lets me down and doesn't even get like a single add after charge. He also gets hit. Thankfully, I have a lot of healing available to me, to the point where it's not really a problem if someone ends up on low HP. 11 has a heal staff, Ethlyn has a mend, Lacus is a heal staff, although she doesn't really heal that much because her magic is shit. And then Tailtte also has the physic, and I have Sylvia to dance, so healing is not a problem. It's just a matter of surviving enemy phase against really thick blocks of enemies. So from here, it's just a walk to Castle where Chagall is, and that takes a little while and isn't too interesting. So in a little bit, there will be a skip. Like there's 3 armor knights in the way, but getting rid of them is not too challenging. In this run, I don't end up facing the Draco Knights. I'll just spoil that right now. So I will not get the life ring, but when I'm recording future chapters, I will be using the save that I made when commentating with Arisa. So that means that some things will be different, and one of those is that I did actually kill the Draco Knight there. So I did get the life ring, or I guess renewal ring. So once again, a bunch of bulky armors. I guess it's like a staple of these Augustrian lords. But once again, we have Silverlance Finn to one-round them, and we also have Hero Sword Finn, Beowulf to do the same. The formation is kind of too annoying. I can't take on more than 2 at once in enemy phase, and the rest all have bows. And I think both Finn and Beowulf get 4-hit KO'd, so I can't really put them in any deeper than I did. But I'm fine with like luring enemies towards the back here, checking how many more turns it takes him to reach me. I'll move back a couple characters, I think. Maybe not. But I'm fine with moving backwards to make things safe here, because that means my foot units have more time to catch up, and I'll actually get to use like Lewin, Sylvia, and Tailtte to my advantage, Because if I just use my horse units, I might get killed. Maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there's some kind of formation that I can do that lets me attack with like my mounted units as much as possible and move them backwards for Sylvia to dance. But Sylvia is pretty far back, so this doesn't end up working out exactly. But I do put a heavy dent in this armored army of Chagals. I'm not like on a very tight schedule when it comes to turn count for what I want to do. So I'm okay with taking a little bit more time here to make things a little bit more consistent. I get an unexpected lover crit here. I'm pretty sure Lacus is 1 rounds no matter what. I checked her damage earlier with the silver bow and I think she exactly 1 rounds the armors at the Silval or the Medino Castle. The lover crit is kind of funny. I didn't repair Beowulf's Brave Sword apparently when he was at the home castle, so he's running out. But he doesn't need to do that much this chapter, and there is an opportunity to repair it if I do. So it's alright. I do equip a different sword because I don't want to end him to have him like attack with like a broken sword. And this way, if he doesn't proc adept, because promoted Beowulf does have adept, then Quan gets another easy kill. These Draco Knights, I think they would take like 2 more turns to even seize my castle if I moved everyone away. So this is where I move people away. You can see me switching between castles pretty quickly, which is like the fastest way to move the cursor in FE4. If you've played Chapter 2, then you probably know the pain of moving back and forth between characters that are spread out all over the map. So I start using the castle switch button more often. I'm not sure what button that would be on an SNES, because, you know, I'm a dirty pirate, I don't have an SNES. But basically it lets you like swap the screen instantly. It's way quicker than just moving the cursor. Being very difficult here about how to dance with Sylvia. I think I really want her to dance to... Oh right, I remember. Taillte is just sort of seizing, so I want to dance for Taillte after she moves. But I'm trying to figure out where to move everyone else so they can also profit off the dance. And that takes a little time, but in the end I end up hitting it. Get some nice physic action going. I have one last square left where I can dance like this, but like, she has nothing to do, so whatever. Just end up going with that. So I'm just trying to figure out how to set up the Chagall kill for Quan. I have Lacus attacking for great justice. Chagall has like a bowgun on toe, so she has weapon triangle advantage. Okay, apparently I'm not getting this kill with Quan, apparently I'm just doing it with Beowulf. Maybe Quan was short of moving away after attacking. Maybe I just figured I'd just get another kill in the hero sword, I don't know. Either way, Travant gives up, he's like, okay, Papillon, whatever the name of that, Dragon bosses, you're on your own. Chagall fucked up, I'm out. So now I've seized this castle. I didn't check the turn count, but it might have been like turn 16, 14, maybe even less. It was pretty quick. That's why I like this chapter, it's pretty quick. So Noish, he is blonde, just like Bridget, but I don't think I would ever confuse him with the daughter of a pirate captain. And these guys finally figured it out, so they're chasing after him. As you can see, Noish is a female paladin. And he does not actually have a 2-range weapon like Bridget does, so the guys that attack him on enemy phase, they do actually survive, unlike in vanilla. Because Bridget 1-rounds them in vanilla with the steel bow. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be showing of this, because it's mostly just pirates moving and doing nothing. Here I blocked the bridge with my deer, because I want to feed all the kills to Deirdre and she has Nosferatu, so she can survive against all these pirates. But she doesn't survive the boss, like he has a leg ring and he will just one-shot her with the silver axe, so I cannot just let them out and suicide into Deirdre that quickly. I need to figure out a better plan, and I have a better plan, but it takes me a bit to get to. So Meteor moves back and now Deirdre can begin her rampage. I figured out a good way to prevent the boss from attacking her. I attack the guy far away so she doesn't get countered. And I put Lex behind her and make sure that he doesn't have a 2-range weapon equipped. And that way there's like Iron Axe pirates and Hand Axe pirates. Okay, so here's Sigurd, and he's a junior lord because he replaces Taillte. And here's Alec, and he has the freaking gun gear, which was a real surprise to me. I will let the live commentary speak for itself. Gun gear is a ridiculous weapon. It gives +10 to like the best stats possible: strength, speed, and defense. So most of these pirates don't even want to attack him. There's a couple that are brave enough to do it. Noish has major Baldo blood, so that is also a major telltale sign of what will happen when you talk to him with Bridget. But first I have some other business to do. I get Taillte warped over there. Most other people here aren't very relevant to the chapter anymore, and they can't really contribute much. Because I want Deirdre to get most of the kills in order to get her promoted, because she's really on her level. She really needs a bunch of levels to get to 20. I think she's at like 3 at this point. Yeah, so okay, so Holland is over there, because Holland replaces Finn, and I want to pair Holland with, let's see, I think I want to pair Holland with Noish, who replaces Bridget, and they have a very high love growth and a very high love base, because in vanilla Finn leaves like after this chapter and Bridget just joined, so in order to make the pairing even possible they have to have a very high base and growth. So I have to get them together as quickly as possible. I think they can even be together without ever standing next to each other, but I don't take any risks. I'm just going to get them together as soon as possible. But there's a bunch of pirates in between, so we gotta get rid of those. So Deirdre is showing off just how good Nosferatu is. That animation takes a long time, and there's a bunch of pirates, so I'm not going to show all of it, but you get the idea. Yeah, so you can see, you haven't seen the actual attack where it matters, but I put Lex behind Deirdre so that a Hand Axe pirate would attack Lex and get in the way so that the boss doesn't get to Deirdre, because the boss doesn't have 2 range. And that way Deirdre is safe. So Noish does not have Pursuit, but he does have a Silver Sword and a high chance of proccing charge, because he has so much more HP and speed than these pirates, so he can sometimes one-round them, but he doesn't 2-hit KO most of them. That's annoying. The pirates generally won't attack Alec when he has the gun gear, so I equip Steel. This lets me set up some kills for Sigurd. I've probably already called him Celis, because he just looks like Celis. But it really is Junior Lord Sigurd, and I figured he's a mounted unit, I'll probably train him just because I can. Now this pirate has a leg ring. In the live commentary, Deirdre got enough magic to where she could one-round him with either Nosferatu or Lightning. But in this case she doesn't even have enough speed to double with Nosferatu, so I have to set up a 2-round kill using either Holland or Fury, and then I can use Lightning to one-round him. And now Deirdre has the leg ring, which I think I'll keep on her, because she replaced Dew, she also needs to open the bridge in chapter 4. And this way I won't have to keep Sylvia glued to her. Quan and Ethlin are replaced by Legacy and Levin, and this is where you get Hull City, which is sadly very useless in this chapter. I'm pretty sure if you put Levin in range of all these pirates, they wouldn't even attack him if he had Hull City equipped. Levin is, in this case, he's too far away from reaction to even consider using it, so it's just a nice cannon combo. So this giant swarm of pirates, I actually want to feed to Deirdre, ridiculous as it sounds because she's so far away, but I figure Noish and Alec are both so strong with their legendary weapons that they don't really need the EXP. And to get Deirdre promoted quickly, I have to hurry up, so I prioritize her EXP over Celis. And Celis takes forever to kill these anyway, even with his Silver Sword. So I weaken one Hunter here. Problem with Nosferatu Deirdre is that she does not double Hunters, and she even gets doubled by Myrmidons. So she cannot just be exposed to all these at once and be expected to survive. And that's why I brought Fury and Ethan over. Fury to get an extra attack off if I ever need to finish off a dangerous enemy, and Ethan to heal if anything goes wrong. And I'm just moving Ira along, and I could move Holland along, but I'm not showing that I do that in this video, but I did it in the recording that I'm actually going to use. And Holland is actually going to end up together with Noish. Okay, so they take the bait and they go for Fury, thankfully. And it makes this a little quicker. Again, I'm not going to show off Deirdre killing all these guys because that takes way too long, but you just need to know that she did it. That's all that matters, I think. I'm trying as hard as possible not to make them suicide on either Alec or Noish, but to keep Celes safe, I have to do it. Like, I have to kill some of them. In the recorded playthrough with Arisa, I actually eliminated all the Myrmidons somehow, so this was a lot safer than what I'm doing now. This is just like with the Cross Knights, where I'm like, well, if this doesn't work out, I'll go back to my save and figure out something safe. But if this does work out, then it's much quicker, so I'll just do it. I need to make sure that Fury stays clear of the hunters. She doesn't get one KO, but she takes a lot of damage, and I want them to attack Deirdre instead for obvious reasons. Here I'm fine with giving Celes at least. I call him Celes. I think here I'm fine with keeping Sigurd at least one kill. I do want to promote the guy, but I have no healer here. Like, I really wish that Noish, because he's a female paladin, since I'm going to guess it's for the same reason as some other units are, like male or female. That lets the game not crash. So here Myrmidon attacks Deirdre, and I'm like, well, I screwed up. Please live. Like, I know she's gonna get hit twice here, because she probably has like no chance to avoid whatsoever. I just hope she dodges enough hits to where she recovers to full HP. Hand axes aren't very accurate, so the odds weren't too bad, but this was still poor strategy on my part. I just wanted to show off how this chapter is being finished, okay? So most of this chapter's footage is sped up, but apparently this part isn't. Sorry about that, but it's not too long anymore anyway. I guess you get to see the nice trident on the gun gear. That is always worth something. I believe these pirates have steel axes, and it gives them just enough attack to where they want to attack Alec. If they would do 0 or 1 damage, like they always do minimum of 1 damage, but I think if they would do 1 damage, they wouldn't even attack. Like say they had 23 attack and Alec has 22 defense, I don't think they would attack him. But since they have just like 1 more, they do attack. But that's fine. Another risky enemy phase for Deirdre. I'm not sure. I don't think this hunter kills her from 22 HP. I believe she has like 3 defense and the hunter has like 24, 23 attack. But for some reason they both dodge each other, so it's the most pointless fight you will ever see. Thankfully she connects this time, and there's just 1 Myrmidon left now, so it's getting pretty safe for Deirdre to just go in there and take the last few kills. Thankfully she got the leg ring, so this is actually pretty quick. Another case of, well, if she doesn't survive this, then I'll take it more slowly or kill the Myrmidon with Alec or something. Like, it's not that I'm so bad at strategy that I don't know how to do this, I'm just being lazy and doing it quickly. So again, I'm freeing up this place so that I can get certain lovers next to each other. I'm actually pairing Alec and Celes together. So here Deirdre freezes the Blagi Tower and has her do-style speech that doesn't fit her at all. I really hope that I would get something cool from this, but it's just a wind sword. I guess you can sell that so she can buy Paragon or whatever. And here Ira's telling Noish that they are sisters. And they prove it by getting turfing. And that's going to be perfect for taking on Wind Mage's next chapter. So at this point, the video is basically over. There's nothing left to do except feed the power ring to someone. The power ring is on the boss that is sitting on the Orca Hill Castle, but the fight is so trivial. Like, the pirates over there, they don't even attack you because they're weak. So I don't even show that off. Like, I didn't even do that with Arisa. Alright, that was chapter 3 for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the solo commentary. Next time I'm hopefully going to be doing dual commentary live again. If you want to listen to the live commentary of this version, make sure to check that out. And I'll hopefully see you next time.